10B, Paisley. Sounds to me like you ran into a shapeshifter, Grandfather said. They can take on many forms. You are fortunate to be alive and even unharmed. It was a terrifying experience, to be sure, I stated, and most peculiar. One moment I was sitting there afraid, and the next I was full of confidence to take on the monster. I see, said Grandfather pensively. There seems to be more to this story, is there not, Alira? I turned to Alira, confused. What more could there be from the story? Was it not Alira who passed out from fear after the fight? I meant to wait until we returned to discuss everything with Paisley, and I did not know the extent of my abilities until that moment. Alira turned toward me, still shaky from the experience and weary. Paisley, Grandfather has enlightened me that my condition is not so much a malady as it is a consequence of using some innate ability that I possess. I have inherited empath abilities from our grandmother that allow me to influence the emotions of those around me. I was struck dumb for a moment. For what does one say when their sister's whole life has changed? I sat there thinking, and could only surmise that I was grateful to Alira. We all owe you our thanks, Alira. If not for your courage, we might all still be trapped in that cart. Or worse, I admitted. All those years that Alira spent infirm, all the indifference I felt toward her for it. And this whole time she was unknowingly mending our family. It seems we have a full complement of magical siblings in this family, Alira stated. As it turns out, Grandfather, Cadence has also come into some powers today. She, too, possesses the ability to control Flora, as does Paisley. Well, this is a surprise, said Grandfather, as he poured some more tea for us. It is more important than ever that we make that visit to your grandmother. What do you mean, Grandfather? What visit? I asked, dumbfounded. As the two of them filled me in, I grew more and more excited over the prospect. Never had I dreamed of meeting a fairy, and our grandmother at that. It was like a dream come true. The hour is late, girls, and you need to be off to bed, Grandfather announced. We will speak more of this tomorrow. Finish your tea and be off with you. Tomorrow is a big day. After a fun-filled day with Alira, it was finally time to go visit Grandmother. It was odd thinking of a fairy as our grandmother, and I wasn't sure what to expect. All I knew was the story I'd overheard from the staff. Grandfather insisted we put on our best for the visit, so I wore my burgundy dress and matching ribbon in my hair, while Alira wore a pale blue dress and tied a blue ribbon throughout her braid. It was like a celebration to which we knew nothing about, but for which we were very much excited. Cadence wore a goofy yellow dress, and we pushed her through the gardens in her little carriage. Grandfather wore his usual suit, but I could smell a faint new essence on him that betrayed his enthusiasm as well. The moon was high in the sky, though it was ever dim these days, requiring us to carry torches with us to venture further out past the gardens. Grandfather took us to a small clearing by a big tree with a hollowed-out trunk. It stood beside a beautiful pond that reflected the twinkling stars above. A blanket was set out in the clearing, and there, waiting, listening to the night creatures, was Grandmother. It was as if Grandmother had appeared out of nothingness, a shimmer in the night. I didn't know what to expect, but I did not expect the fully grown form before me with shimmering, effervescent wings. She was a beauty to behold, from her long silvery hair to her bare-skinned feet. Every inch of her cast a slight twinkling hue. She was not much taller than Alira, and frail of frame, but her posture spoke of her station, and I could tell she was a woman of importance. All eyes gazed in wonder, taking in the beauty before us. "Good evening, ladies," she addressed us. Her voice was smooth and magical. I had been waiting for this day when we would meet. I didn't know where to start, but Alira wasted no time and jumped right in. "Grandmother," Alira started, "I am Alira, eldest daughter of your daughter Cadence. I have inherited some of your gifts of empathy." "Good evening, Alira. It is a pleasure to meet you, and a failing granddaughter is a beautiful gift indeed. There is much you can accomplish with your powers, should you know how to hone them." "I can help you with this if desired," Grandmother offered. "I have heard that both Paisley and Cadence have Magus abilities. We truly are a blessed family to have such diverse magical abilities among us." "Yes, Grandmother. I am Paisley. It is also a pleasure to meet you, and this is Cadence." I gestured to the yellow bundle slumbering peacefully in her pram. "Cadence has just started showing Terra abilities, and I have Solar abilities, which are growing every day. I was even accepted into Sator tutelage. Soon enough, I hope to have the power and knowledge to seek out our brother Alistair. I have come across some knowledge about the possible whereabouts of the Mistress of the Night, and wish to discuss this with you all," Grandmother stated. "The fairy colony on Lunar Isle has reported some lunar activity deep in the forest, where elsewhere in Aether it has all but diminished. Your grandfather is already undertaking plans to send a party that way to investigate. In the meantime, I do hope that we could spend some time getting to know one another." As much as I wanted to do just this, I was skeptical from my learned history of Grandmother's long absence. After losing father, mother, and Alistair, I didn't know if I could lose anybody else, too. However, Alira and Grandmother immediately took to catching up and bonding over their empath abilities. There were several mentions of Cadence as Alira spoke of all the important things in her life. Even Fenton was mentioned. "You must be careful with your affections, Alira," Grandmother said. "It is easy to influence others with your feelings unknowingly. This was a major concern for me, having left your grandfather. With an empath around, it is difficult to gauge how one truly feels. There is always the worry that others' feelings for you are only because of the powers you give off." It was clear that Alira had never thought of this, as instant dread came over her face. "You need not worry as much as I did, child. As a Fae descendant, your powers are diluted. Any affections that may have wiled the young boy would wear off shortly after you had left the vicinity, unlike a true Fae, whose powers are more permanent." It was clear that Grandfather had heard this argument before, as he stood there shaking his head in disbelief. "My love for you has always been true. After all these years, Tien, you are still the only one for me. And I am sure I am not the only one who would like you to come home," Grandfather finished. We talked well into the night, catching Grandmother up on us girls, Mother, and our newfound powers. The hesitancy felt before simply vanished as the night went on. True to Grandfather's statement, I felt a need to have my grandmother in my life. We planned on regular meetups in the forest. I'd never seen Alira come alive so much as she was with Grandmother. She truly looked up to the woman. I wasn't quite sure what was in store for Alistair, but I grew hopeful that we would find him. We parted ways with new hope and connections building up, each of us seeking different answers from our reconnected family.